The clock struck 7:30, and the cold seeped through the cracks in the window, an icy whisper that sent shivers through the air. As I lay nestled beneath the sheets, a gentle tapping echoed from the door of my room. "Would it be possible for me to use your bathroom for just a moment, dear mother-in-law?" uttered the grave tone of my son-in-law from across the divide. "We are facing an issue. The hot water is not flowing, and bathing in cold water during this chilly weather is quite a challenge." For a brief moment, I found myself caught in a stillness, suspended between the weight of lethargy and the unease stirred by that peculiar request. Yet, in the end, what words could I possibly share with him? It was a place filled with warmth, where he had consistently shown thoughtfulness and care towards me. I rose with a hint of irritation, draped in a burgundy silk robe that languidly lay across the back of the chair, basking in the sun's warmth. The gentle caress of the fabric against my skin sent a shiver down my spine. As I neared the door, I attempted to secure the robe around my waist, yet the loop stubbornly refused to cooperate. As I swung the door open, the first thing that captured my attention was the intensity of his gaze. Large, circular, and unwavering in its gaze, as though it had just encountered something that rendered it utterly speechless. It took me a moment to grasp the situation, yet the warmth flooding my cheeks provided the hint before I could respond. Instinctively, I averted my eyes and beheld what lay unveiled. The robe's parting had revealed much yet to be uncovered. A shiver coursed down my spine, and in a swift motion, I attempted to rearrange the robe. Yet, in my hurried tug, the waist knot came undone entirely, allowing the fabric to slip away further. The atmosphere thickened around us, heavy with an unspoken tension that left us both at a loss for how to proceed. His glance, swift as it was, held an undeniable magnetism. He watched me, as though each moment was etched into his mind forever. As I attempted to steady myself, my fingers fumbled with the robe, tying it once more with a quiver of uncertainty. "You are already aware of this. I possess nothing that sets me apart from the rest." His smile emerged, subtle yet radiant, infused with an essence that ignited a warmth within me, prompting an inner smile to bloom. "Instead, rush and cease your unwarranted gaze." I infused a resolve that was absent within me. Though he remained silent, the gleam in his eyes conveyed everything that needed to be expressed. He confined himself to sensation and made his way to the bathroom, leaving me at the threshold with my heart racing wildly. As I shut the door behind me, I leaned against it, struggling to regain my breath. The chill had vanished, giving way to the searing heat that now scorched my skin. My thoughts swirled in a tempest of feelings: shame, surprise, and an unnameable sensation I was reluctant to confront. I gazed out the window, seeking the chill of the air to soothe my restless spirit. Yet the memory of his smile, that gaze etched into my very being, lingered on, a relentless echo. The gentle cascade of water in the shower created a soothing and immersive melody that enveloped the entire space. I rose beside the window, gazing without truly perceiving, as my mind wove itself into visions that were better left untouched. What options remain when my own mind seems intent on deceiving me? That morning held an essence that felt as though it had shattered the confines of the ordinary. The chill had vanished, supplanted by an oppressive warmth that coursed from the nape of the neck down to the abdomen. I inhaled slowly, seeking to soothe the tempest that raged within me. Yet my gaze, seemingly of its own accord, wandered toward the bathroom door. The opening revealed just a fleeting glimpse of what lay within. The steam fog started to weave its way through the opening, forming a veil that hinted at secrets yet to be revealed. A fragment of my being understood that I must distance myself and honor his solitude. Yet another, bolder and more inquisitive, held fast to the notion of making an approach. I swallowed hard, acutely aware of my throat tightening with every step I approached the door. The echo of my footsteps filled the air, intensifying the weight that pressed upon my chest. My heart raced with an intensity that suggested I was on the brink of crossing an unseen threshold. As I approached the door, mere centimeters away, I leaned in slightly, battling the overwhelming anxiety that enveloped me. The steam lingered in the air, brushing against my skin as if it were a subtle beckoning. I elongated my neck, only slightly inclining, when the piercing ring of my phone shattered the tranquility. I recoiled, my heart threatening to leap from my chest. My hands quivered with urgency as I dashed toward the table where the device awaited my return. With unsteady hands, I grasped it and glided my finger across the screen to respond. "Greetings, dear companion, I woke you up," said the anxious voice of my best friend. "Hello, I was pondering whether you'd like to join me for lunch. I have some intriguing gossip that you simply cannot afford to miss." Indeed," I replied, striving to restore my poise. "Allow me a moment to gather my thoughts, and I will provide you with confirmation." "Perfect, and get pretty," he said with a laugh. "It looks like there's going to be a lot going on," before hanging up. As I tucked the phone into the pocket of my coat, the sound of water slicing through the air reached my ears. Just as I was about to make a move, the bathroom door swung open, revealing him standing there. My son-in-law emerged, a towel precariously draped around his waist, his hair dripping with moisture, beads of water cascading down his torso. The steam lingered around him, as though the bathroom were reluctant to release him entirely. His skin glimmered in the soft glow of the dim light, and for a fleeting moment that stretched into infinity, his gaze locked with mine. "Thank you for the bathroom, dear mother-in-law. There's something enchanting about this place, an indescribable allure that draws me in," he remarked with a gentle smile, offering me a gesture of appreciation. I lifted my eyebrows, a smile playing on my lips as I nodded, and then he departed. The atmosphere felt alive with an unseen energy, thick and nearly overwhelming. I ran my fingers through my hair, attempting to dispel the thoughts that relentlessly pursued me. I was astonished at the depths my mind was on the verge of plunging into. "Oh dear, my lady, what thoughts occupy your mind?" I chastised myself, engulfed in a blend of shame and despair. I navigated the space, hoping that each step might somehow ease the palpable tension that hung in the air. The silk robe caressed my skin with a delicate softness, yet instead of soothing my nerves, it only heightened my unease. The vision of my son-in-law emerging from the bathroom lingered in my thoughts, his effortless smile juxtaposed with the glistening droplets of water that adorned his skin. "No, no, no," I murmured, shaking my head in denial. I needed to escape, for being alone in that house with him felt like tempting fate. It was merely the two of us, and while I had always relied on my self-discipline, this moment felt like a precarious dance on a fraying tightrope. My daughter, a dedicated nurse, was immersed in her night shift this week and wouldn't be back until afternoon. The stillness in the house weighed heavily, broken only by the soft whir of the ceiling fan. I must leave this place as swiftly as possible before he makes any foolish decisions, I stated with conviction. The device in my grasp buzzed once more, as though existence itself was determined to rescue me from my own folly. As I gazed at the screen, my friend's name illuminated in a vibrant flash. "And tell me you're ready to go," he exclaimed with enthusiasm when I answered. "Allow me a moment to indulge in a refreshing bath," I said to him. "Wonderful, I'll be there in 30 minutes. Let's raise a glass to all the wild twists and turns that life throws our way. Your belief in my need is appreciated. I look forward to our meeting then." I rushed to the bath, and though the hot water beckoned, I opted for the cold, hoping it would soothe the turmoil that raged within me. The icy water pierced my skin like a flurry of delicate needles, yet not even that sensation could extinguish the blaze that raged within me. My thoughts lingered on the forbidden notions I was reluctant to acknowledge, yet they surged like unwelcome guests with every breath I took. The delicate steams that arose from the ambient warmth veiled the mirror, rendering the world beyond it even more surreal. I inhaled deeply, shut my eyes, and tilted my face toward the ceiling, anticipating the cold water to wash away the storm of feelings within me. In that moment, I became aware of it, the gentle creak of the door, as though someone was cautiously nudging it open. The sound sliced through the air, a harbinger of something ominous, sending a shiver down my spine, though it was not the chill of the temperature that caused it. I inhaled deeply and grasped the handle of the faucet, halting the cascade that poured over me. The silence hung heavily in the air. "Hello," I ventured, my voice quaking as I struggled to maintain an air of composure. "Just a moment. Someone is here with me." Yet, silence prevailed, leaving only the haunting resonance of my own voice bouncing off the bathroom walls. Yet, I was acutely aware of another presence, a sensation that lingered in the air. That raw instinct that tears at your flesh and quickens your pulse. I cast my gaze toward the door's ledge, where a timid strip of light from the corridor seeped through. My thoughts were a cacophony of pleas for tranquility. Perhaps it was the whispering wind, or perhaps you had merely failed to secure the door properly. Yet, there lingered an undeniable essence, a presence that demanded my attention. I seized the towel draped beside me and swiftly enveloped myself in its embrace. The frigid air brushed against my skin, sending shivers coursing through me. I took a few steps closer to the door, each motion resonating with the relentless thrum of my heartbeat echoing in my ears. I swung the door open abruptly, allowing the towel to cling to me in a frantic embrace. The corridor lay silent and deserted, bathed in the faint glow that seeped through the window at its far end. Yet, I was certain that it was not a figment of my imagination. The atmosphere hung thick with an unseen strain, a sensation of being watched. As I perused the garments in my closet, my fingers glided over the soft, elegant fabrics that hung like whispered secrets, poised to be unveiled. I sought something that would subtly suggest without shouting, that would make an impression yet remain understated. My eyes lingered on a black silk dress, cinched at the waist and featuring a V neckline elegant enough to exude sophistication, yet daring enough to demand attention. "This will be perfect," I murmured as I slipped it off his coat. At 45, I could confidently declare that time had treated me well. The time spent in the gym and the unwavering dedication were not for naught. My skin retained a radiant glow, and my curves, rather than diminishing, appeared to have discovered a newfound balance. The dress enveloped my form with a gentle touch, fitting perfectly in all the right places. I glanced away, assessing the impact, and smiled with contentment. I finished with a headband that secured my hair, ensuring my forehead remained unobstructed. The black heels rested beside the bed, and as I slipped them on, the gentle click against the floor echoed the sense of security they had always bestowed upon me. Gazing into the mirror, a thought flickered through my mind, both ephemeral and insistent. For whom was all of this truly intended? For the external realm, or for that matter that had emerged within my uninvited? I dismissed the notion, striving to rid myself of that train of thought. As I adjusted the strap of my heels, leaning before the mirror, her words slipped through the doorway of my room, akin to an unforeseen note in a serene melody. "Could I have a moment of your time, mother-in-law?" My breath quickened. This was not the first instance her voice had stirred such a reaction within me, yet I resisted the urge to dissect it. Just as I was poised to respond, my daughter's voice suddenly echoed through the hallway, preventing me from uttering a word. "Hello, darling. What brings you to stand there?" he inquired with the ease of someone entirely untroubled by doubt. I held my breath and remained motionless, attuned to the sounds around me. "No, I was just about to head out, and I figured she might need something from outside," he replied, his tone casual yet enticing. From within, I resolved to step in before the situation grew more awkward. "No, thank you, son-in-law. I'm perfectly fine," I replied aloud. "Besides, I plan to head out shortly anyway. Until next time, dear mother-in-law." Moments later, as the echo of the main door's closure filled the air, I pushed open the door to my room. There I stood in the hallway, my daughter beside me, as she deftly worked through the knots in her hair with her fingers. "Dear mother, how elegant you look," he said, a smile dancing on his lips, that familiar playful glimmer in his eyes. "You look absolutely stunning in that dress. I can't believe you're planning to go hunting." "Be quiet," I retorted, attempting to diminish the significance of the moment. "The moment has slipped away from me." "Oh, please don't say that, Mom. You're not old. You're a stunning woman." I offered her a smile, though it failed to illuminate my eyes. Thank you, my dear daughter. It brings me joy to have you by my side. Indeed, the very first thing I desire is to indulge in a soothing bath of warm water. Feel free to use mine if you'd like, I offered her. She raised an eyebrow, questioning, and why would I need to use yours, Mom? If ours surpasses the rest, and the water can be measured with greater precision. The crimson liquid coursed through my veins. Did their bath truly possess no imperfections? I distinctly recalled my son-in-law mentioning that hot water was not particularly effective. My daughter had already confined herself to her room, oblivious to the turmoil that her remark had stirred within me. I paused before the receiver's mirror. The reflection revealed a woman steadfastly resisting the relentless march of time. The fitted black dress clung to my curves with an intentional grace, offering just enough allure to tease the imagination without fully disclosing its secrets. The headband secured my hair, allowing my face to remain unobstructed. What occupies your thoughts at this moment? I whispered, suppressing the image reflected back at me. Yet, the reality was undeniable. My son-in-law had deceived us. The most painful aspect was not the deception itself, but the motive that fueled it. What could possibly motivate someone to claim that the bathroom was out of order when his was functioning flawlessly? I endeavored to dispel that sensation, yet the fragments of the puzzle continued to align seamlessly within my thoughts. The memory of his gaze from that morning lingered in my mind, the way his eyes sparkled with delight as I stepped through the door, draped in the soft silk of my robe. A shiver coursed through me, not born of fear, but rather from an unspoken concern that lingered in the shadows of my mind. I strolled into the room and allowed myself to collapse onto the sofa, crossing my legs with a facade of nonchalance. I insisted, "You can't keep twisting this to your advantage. Your mind is merely toying with your perceptions." Yet, there was an undeniable quality to my son-in-law's demeanor that prevented me from releasing my grip on the situation. In that moment, the familiar sound of my friend's car horn pierced the air, signaling their arrival. Are you curious about the conclusion of this tale? Please share your thoughts in the comments if that's the case. I appreciate your willingness to listen and the time you've devoted to my stories. Before I take my leave, I urge you to subscribe to my channel and activate the notification bell. Don't forget to give a thumbs up if you enjoyed the content. A warm embrace from your friend Lucy. Until we meet again.